Proverbs 18. One who is set aside to court lust will be exposed in every Torah conclave. The fool does not desire understanding, except when his essence is revealed. With the arrival of an evildoer, scorn arrives, and with a man of disgrace, there comes insult. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The wellspring of wisdom is like a flowing stream. To show favor to an evildoer is not good. It turns astray the judgment of a righteous person. The lips of the fool will come forth in contention, and his mouth will invite blows upon himself. The mouth of a fool brings destruction to himself, and his lips are a stumbling block to his soul. The words of a complainer are like blows, and they descend to the chambers of one's innards. One who grows lax in his work is also a brother to a destructive person. The name of Hashem is a tower of strength. With it, a righteous man will run and be strong. The treasure of a wealthy person is his city of strength, and like a high wall in his chambers. Prior to his destruction, a man's heart grows haughty, but prior to honor, there is humility. If a person answers before he understands, it will be foolishness and humiliation for him. A man's spirit will sustain him in his sickness, but who can support a broken spirit? An understanding heart will acquire knowledge, but the ear of the wise must seek knowledge. A man's gift broadens access for him and leads him before the great. The first to present his case seems righteous in his grievance. Then his fellow arrives, and he is interrogated. The lottery can put quarrels to rest and cause the contentious to move apart. Better a wronged brother than a fortified city. Though they quarrel, they are like a palace bolt. A man's stomach will be sated with the fruit of his mouth. He will be sated with the produce of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who love to use it will eat its fruit. One who has found a wife has found goodness, and has brought forth favor from Hashem. A pauper utters supplications, but a wealthy man responds with brazen words. A man with friends is befriended. Sometimes a friend is closer than a brother. Proverbs 19. Better a pauper who walks in his innocence than a person who perverts his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for the soul to be without knowledge. And he who quickens his feet without reflection is a sinner. A man's foolishness corrupts his way, and his heart rages against Hashem. Wealth adds many friends, but the poor man is parted from his fellow. A witness speaking falsehoods will not be exonerated, and one who spouts lies will not escape. Many court the presence of a patron, and all befriend a man with gifts. All of a pauper's brothers hate him. Surely his friends withdraw from him. Though he pursues them with words, the words remain his. One who acquires intelligence loves his soul, guarding understanding to find good. A witness speaking falsehoods will not be exonerated, and one who spouts lies will be lost. Pleasure does not befit a fool. Surely it is not fitting for a servant to rule over dignitaries. It is intelligent of a person to be slow to anger, and his splendor is to ignore an offense. Like the roar of a young lion, so is the wrath of a king, and like dew upon grass is his favor. A foolish son is his father's heartbreak, and a contentious woman is like an irksome dripping. A house and wealth are an inheritance from fathers, but an intelligent woman comes from Hashem. Laziness casts one into slumber, and the deceptive soul will go hungry. He who observes a commandment safeguards his soul. One who scorns his proper ways will die. One who is gracious to the poor is lending to Hashem, and he will pay him his reward. Discipline your son, for there is hope. Let your soul not be swayed by his protest. A person of great wrath will bear punishment, for even if you rescue the victim, his wrath will only grow. Hear counsel and accept discipline in order that you grow wise in your later days. Many designs are in a man's heart, but the counsel of Hashem, only it will prevail. Longing for a person is for his kindness, but a pauper is better than a rich man who deceives. The fear of Hashem brings life. Such a person will rest sated and not be remembered for evil. The lazy one buries his hand in the dish. He will not even return it to his mouth. Strike the scoffer, and the simpleton grows clever. Chastise an understanding person, and he will understand even more knowledge. He despoils his father and drives out his mother, the son who shames and humiliates. Cease, my son, from straying from the words of knowledge, in order to heed reproof. The lawless witness mocks judgment, and the mouth of the wicked swallows his words of iniquity. Judgments are readied for the scoffers, and blows for the backs of fools. Proverbs 20. Wine makes a scoffer. Strong drink makes one cry out. And whoever errs after it will not grow wise. Like the roar of a young lion, so is the terror of a king. One who angers him forfeits his soul. Abstention from quarrel is a man's honor, but every foolish one reveals himself in it. Because of the winter cold, a sluggard does not plow. When he desires a crop at harvest time, it will not be there. Counsel is like deep water in the heart of man, and the man of understanding draws it forth. Among most people, each man proclaims his kindness. But who can find an honest man? One who walks in his innocence is a righteous man. Fortunate are his sons after him. When the king sits on the seat of judgment, he scatters all who are evil in his eyes. Who can say, I have cleansed my heart. I have purified myself from my sin. A weight and a weight, a measure and a measure, both of them are an abomination of Hashem. Even a youth can be recognized by his deeds, whether his acts are pure or just. A hearing ear and a seeing eye, Hashem made both of them. Do not love sleep lest you become impoverished. Open your eyes, then you will be sated with food. Bad, bad, says the buyer, but when he goes away, then he boasts. There is gold and many pearls, but lips of wisdom are a precious vessel. Take the garment of one who cosigns for a stranger, or offers collateral for an alien woman. The bread of falsehood is sweet to man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. Thoughts conceived in counsel will be firm. Wage war with strategies. With a revealer of secrets, a bearer of tales, or a simpleton of lips, do not mingle. One who curses his father or mother, his light will flicker out in the deepening darkness. If an inheritance is seized hastily in the beginning, its end will not be blessed. Do not say, I will pay retribution for evil. Hope to Hashem, and he will help you. Having one weight and a different weight is an abomination of Hashem, and scales of deceit are not good. A man's steps are from Hashem, but what does a man understand of his way? A man stumbling in sin undermines his sanctity, and his remedy is to seek vows of atonement. The wise king scatters the wicked and turns the wheel measure for measure upon them. A man's soul is the lamp of Hashem, which searches the chambers of one's innards. Kindness and truth protect a king, and he sustains his throne in kindness. The splendor of youth is in their strength, and the glory of the old is in their hoariness. Bruises and wounds purge evil, as do blows to the chambers of one's innards. Proverbs 21. Like streams of water is the heart of a king in the hand of Hashem. Wherever he wishes, so he directs it. A man's every way is upright in his eyes, but Hashem resides in his heart. Doing what is right and just is preferable to Hashem than an offering. Haughty eyes and a desirous heart are the plotting of the wicked, a sin. The thoughts of the zealous are purely beneficial, but all hastiness is only for loss. The accumulation of treasures through a false tongue is a vapor driven to and fro. They seek death. The robbery of the wicked will cause them to fear, for they refuse to execute justice. The way of a man is sometimes inconsistent and strange, but a pure man's every deed is upright. Better to dwell on a corner or a roof than to dwell with a contentious wife in a house of friends. The soul of the evildoer desires evil. His companion in evil will find favor in his eyes. When the scoffer is punished, the simpleton gains wisdom, and when the wise one receives instruction, he gains knowledge. A righteous person brings success to the house of the evildoer, which corrupts the wicked toward evil. One who shuts his ear to the cry of the pauper, he too will call out and not be answered. An anonymous gift will cover up anger, and a bribe in the bosom will appease strong wrath. Performance of justice is a joy to the righteous, and destruction to workers of iniquity. A person who wanders from the intelligent way will rest in the congregation of the dead. The lover of pleasure will be a man who lacks. The lover of wine and oil will not grow rich. The evildoer will be an atonement for the righteous one, and the faithless one for the upright. Better to dwell in a wasteland than with a woman of contention and anger. A desirable treasure and oil endure in the abode of the wise, but the fool of a man swallows it up. One who pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. The wise one went up to the city of the strong and brought down the strength of its trust. One who guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul from troubles. The willful, boastful man, scoffer is his name. He acts with willful wrath. The lust of the sluggard will kill him, for his hands refuse to work. All day long he will court lust, while the righteous one gives without restraint. The offering of the wicked is an abomination, and surely when they bring it with impure design. A false witness will perish, but the man who hears it will speak of it eternally. A wicked person shows his audacity on his face, but an upright one considers his way. There is neither wisdom nor understanding nor counsel against Hashem. The horse is readied for the day of battle, but salvation is Hashem's. Proverbs 22. A good name is preferable to wealth, and goodly favor to silver and gold. The rich man and the pauper meet. Hashem is the maker of them all. A shrewd person sees evil and hides, but simpletons pass on and are punished. The result of humility is fear of Hashem, wealth, honor, and life. Thorns and snares are in the path of the perverse. He who guards his soul will distance himself from them. Train the youth according to his way. Even when he grows old, he will not swerve from it. A rich man dominates paupers, and a debtor is a servant to the creditor. One who sows injustice will reap iniquity, and the rod of his fury will cease. One with a good eye will be blessed, for he has given of his bread to the poor. Drive away the scoffer, and strife will depart, and judgment and shame will cease. He who loves purity of heart, and whose lips are gracious, the king is his friend. The eyes of Hashem protect knowledge, and he perverts the words of the faithless one. A lazy person says, "There is a lion outside. I'll be killed in the midst of the streets." The mouth of heresy is a deep pit. The scorned of Hashem will fall there. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a youth. The rod of discipline will distance it from him. He who oppresses the destitute for his own gain, or who makes gifts to the rich, it is only for loss. Incline your ear and hear the words of the wise. Set your heart to my knowledge. For it is pleasant if you guard them in your innards and establish all of them upon your lips. Let your trust remain with Hashem. I have made this known to you today, you also. Surely I have written for you in the Torah extremely noble things, with counsel and knowledge, to teach you the veracity of true words, so that you may answer words of truth to those who send word to you. Do not rob the destitute because he is destitute, and do not oppress the poor man in the gate of judgment. For Hashem will take up their grievance. He will steal the soul of those who would steal from them. Do not befriend an angry man, and do not come together with a hot-tempered man, lest you learn his ways and take a snare for your soul. Do not be among those who shake hands, among the guarantors for loans. If you have no money to pay, why should he take your bedding from beneath you? Do not move back the long-standing boundary marker that your forefathers established. Have you seen a man with alacrity in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before men of darkness.